The shock factor that we would have a top general warn promise the Chinese he would provide them warnings. That the focus is not so much that he may have talked to the Chinese military. That doesn't seem that bizarre. And I don't think anybody wants to say, okay, that's so outside the line. It's what's being reported, and the fact that, Rick, after 48 hours, there's no denial.
Let's be honest. Bob Woodward is writing a book, and he is pushing stories to sell a book. And I don't believe any story where anyone who is close to President Trump believes that President Trump was looking to start a war.
Right.
I don't believe, he's trying to start a war anywhere, let alone China. This whole story to me is ridiculous. Nobody who worked with President Trump would believe that he was trying to start a war with China.
The way the Pentagon's handled it, though, the fact that you've had John Kirby, because I think that they almost make it worse when he comes out and makes blanket statements like, well, anything that's been reported, unlike what you're saying, is that it's so outrageous that it seems not to be true because no one really could have believed that we were going to start some war with China. But that's not what he said. He said, this doesn't seem unusual, even if this was as it's been reported, if it comes out that that was accurate.
We don't want to have political people who are not transparent. I was somebody who believed in declassifying information and getting it out there because of this reason, Jordan. We have a crisis of confidence with the American people when it comes to Washington, D.C. officials. The D.C. bubble does not get it. They do not understand that people don't trust them. People don't trust their decisions. And this is a rot that will continue to happen. The only way to fix it is for officials to step up, to be transparent, to share information even when it's bad.
You got this letter off to General Milley directly, along with Congressman Waltz, directly ask him about what is being reported that is in this book, the two different phone calls, October 30th and January 8th. How important do you think getting to the bottom of this is for the American people, for Congress to do, because especially this warning, and no one's really denying it.
What's in the book is very disturbing. It would be undercutting civilian control of the military. It is two phone calls that are, go against the idea of civilian control of the military. And there's the book, okay? The rule of law actually does work if you allow it to work. So I'm not going to try General Milley based on some book. And, a lot of this stuff in books in the past have turned out to be nothing. Let's talk to the guy, hear his side of the story, then I'll tell you what I think. So I expect to set up a meeting, let him walk me through both phone calls, what happened, what was said, the content of the phone call. It's important he explained himself to the Congress, but it's also important that we take a deep breath here and not go crazy over an excerpt in a book.
The part that's being papered over right now by the people who are commenting that say that they had any knowledge of this, or maybe they were in the room, is they haven't denied anything.
What I want to do is put the content, understand what was said and the context in which it was said, and see if the system was involved or was this some rogue individual. It may be hard to believe sometimes books written in Washington are not accurate. And if he did something wrong, then he'll have the consequences come his way.
This information is going to get out there. I mean, Thad, if this was said accurately and it was accurately reported, I think it's going to be it is, and I think I picked this up from both Senator Graham and from Rick, is that it would be absolutely shocking to a lot of Washington actors, including elected officials.
The American people need to know that the military, in order to maintain our respect for them, which we certainly want to do, we have to have confidence that it is still under the civilian chain of command. So while Senator Graham and Rick are absolutely correct that we shouldn't jump to a conclusion, I think we, the American people, Jordan, should demand an answer from Secretary or from General Milley.
Why can't we just say this did or did not happen? You've got acting secretaries of defense saying they never authorized, another secretary of defense saying they did authorize the first phone call. The American people just want to know. Okay, you brought this to our attention. This is being reported in a public book. Did you or did you not tell the Chinese and promise to warn them about attacks? And did you have any authorization to do that? Was that some kind of play, or were you acting rogue? That's what the American people want to know. They're sick and tired of just the Washington talk. answer the questions, and we can move on to the big issues. And that's Afghanistan and holding people accountable for that mess.